Welcome to Brain Popcorn, your daily dose of financial wisdom and motivation. We break down the world's best books on money, mindset, and success, turning powerful ideas into lessons you can use to build wealth, discipline, and purpose. Learn, grow, achieve. Financial freedom starts with the right mindset. At Brain Popcorn, we simplify the world's best money and motivational books, one powerful summary at a time. Learn wealth, build habits, grow daily. Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely, full masterclass summary. Predictably Irrational challenges the assumption that humans are rational decision makers. Traditional economics teaches that people act logically to maximize their self-interest. Dan Ariely, a behavioral economist at MIT, demonstrates through decades of experiments that our decisions are systematically biased and irrational. Yet those irrationalities are predictable. The book combines psychology and economics to show how emotions, social pressure, and cognitive biases influence behavior in measurable ways. Ariely uses humor, storytelling, and research evidence to expose how these hidden forces affect daily life, from shopping and dating to honesty and self-control. Chapter 1. The Truth About Relativity. Why Everything is Relative, even when it shouldn't be. Humans rarely evaluate things in absolute terms. We think relatively. Instead of asking, "Is this good?" we ask, "Is this better than that?" Ariely demonstrates this through the Economist subscription experiment. Online only, $59. Print only, $125. Print plus online, $125. The middle option, though useless, made the third option look like a bargain. When it was removed, most people chose the cheaper option instead. This is called the decoy effect or asymmetric dominance, where a slightly worse version of one option makes another appear much more attractive. Takeaway: we compare things that are easy to compare, often ignoring better but less comparable alternatives. Marketers exploit this by using decoy pricing to steer consumers toward the desired choice. Chapter 2. The Fallacy of Supply and Demand. Why the price of pearls and everything else is up for debate. According to classical economics, prices are set by supply and demand. Ariely shows that initial prices anchor future perceptions of value, meaning the first number we see influences all later judgments. He conducted an experiment where participants wrote the last two digits of their social security numbers and then bid on various products. Those with higher numbers consistently bid more, proving that arbitrary anchors can shape perceived value. This anchoring effect explains why luxury brands, original prices, and reference points manipulate our sense of worth. Takeaway: value is not inherent, it's constructed. The first price we see can determine what we believe something is worth for years afterward. Chapter 3. The Cost of Zero Cost. Why we often pay too much when we pay nothing. Free feels magical, but it's deceptive. In an experiment, participants chose between Lindt truffles, 15 cents. Hershey's Kisses, 1 cent. Most chose Lindt, but when both were discounted by 1 cent, making the Kiss free, nearly everyone switched to the Kiss, even though the price difference was identical. The zero price effect shows that free triggers emotional excitement and eliminates rational trade-offs. Free offers feel risk-free, but they distort our value perception. Takeaway: free can lead us to make poor decisions, wasting time, money, or opportunities, simply because we overvalue the absence of cost. Chapter 4. The Cost of Social Norms. Why we are happy to do things, but not when we are paid to do them. Ariely distinguishes between social norms and market norms. Social norms involve trust, reciprocity, and community, e.g., helping a friend. Market norms involve transactions and monetary exchange, e.g., being paid for a job. When money enters a social situation, it replaces goodwill with calculation. In an experiment, people helped a friend move for free, but refused if offered $5. Why? Because introducing money moved the act from a social to a market context. Takeaway: mixing social and market norms can backfire. Companies that treat employees like family but pay them poorly break trust. Conversely, Appealing to social goodwill while expecting commercial performance creates conflict. Chapter 5. The Influence of Arousal. Why hot is much hotter than we realize. People underestimate how much emotions affect decisions. Ariely asked male students to answer questions about sexual behavior while calm and while aroused. When aroused, participants' moral boundaries, patience, and decision-making completely changed. This gap between how we think we'll act and how we actually act under emotion is called the hot-cold empathy gap. Takeaway: self-control fails when we underestimate emotional states. The key is to design systems that anticipate irrational behavior. For example, pre-commitment strategies to prevent impulsive actions. Chapter 6. The Problem of Procrastination and Self-Control. Why we can't make ourselves do what we want to do. We procrastinate because of present bias, the tendency to prioritize immediate pleasure over long-term gain. Ariely tested this with students who had to submit 3 papers. Group 1, fixed deadlines. Group 2, self-chosen deadlines. Group 3, one deadline at the end. The best results came from the fixed deadlines group. Structure reduced procrastination. Takeaway: freedom sounds good, but structure and constraints improve performance. Setting external or self-imposed deadlines helps overcome irrational delay. Chapter 7. The High Price of Ownership. Why we overvalue what we have. Ownership changes perception. In experiments, people given a mug demanded about twice as much money to sell it as others were willing to pay to buy it. This is the endowment effect. We overvalue what's ours. It stems from loss aversion. The pain of losing something is stronger than the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. Takeaway: ownership distorts judgment. It explains why people resist selling old belongings, undervalue others' ideas, or hold losing investments too long. Chapter 8. Keeping doors open. Why options distract us from our main goal. Humans fear losing opportunities, even meaningless ones. Ariely ran an experiment where participants played a computer game with doors representing options. When doors started disappearing, players irrationally clicked just to keep them open, even though it reduced their overall score. This is option anxiety. We hate closing doors, even when it's in our best interest. Takeaway: focus requires eliminating distractions. Too many options dilute energy, reduce satisfaction, and prevent commitment. Chapter 9. The Effect of Expectations. Why the mind gets what it expects. Expectations influence perception. In a taste test, participants were given 2 identical beers, one labeled as regular, the other as with vinegar. When informed in advance, they disliked the vinegar beer. When uninformed, they preferred it. Our experiences are not purely sensory. They're constructed by beliefs. Takeaway: branding, framing, and expectation shape how we feel about products, people, and experiences. Manage expectations consciously to avoid bias. Chapter 10. The Power of Price. Why a 50-cent aspirin can do what a penny aspirin can't. The placebo effect extends a price. Participants who took an expensive painkiller reported more relief than those who took the same pill labeled as discounted. Higher price signals higher quality, which shapes real physical and emotional responses. Takeaway: perceived value often matters more than actual value. Marketers use price to create belief, and belief creates experience. Chapter 11. The Context of Dishonesty. Why we cheat, but only a little. Ariely explored dishonesty and found that people cheat, but only enough to still feel good about themselves. When people saw others cheat, they were more likely to cheat too. But when reminded of moral codes, like reciting the 10 Commandments, dishonesty dropped to 0. Interestingly, larger financial incentives didn't increase cheating. Social norms and identity did. Takeaway: dishonesty grows when people can rationalize it. Integrity depends more on culture, environment, and reminders than punishment. Chapter 12. The Cycle of Distrust. Why we lie to everyone, especially ourselves. Ariely shows that small, tolerated acts of dishonesty can grow into large-scale corruption. Once people justify minor cheating, moral boundaries shift. Transparency, reminders of ethical standards, and public accountability help restore trust. Takeaway: preventing dishonesty requires designing systems that appeal to morality, not just deterrence. Epilogue: the rationality of irrationality. Ariely concludes that human irrationality is not random, it's systematic. We can predict, measure, and correct it. The goal is not to eliminate irrationality, but to design environments that account for it. Smart policies, ethical marketing, and behavioral design can help people make better choices. Final message: humans are not perfectly rational, but that's okay. Understanding our predictable irrationality gives us the power to make wiser, more intentional decisions in life, work, and society. Comment below if you will follow these principles and become productive and prepare your mind for success thoughts to take control. Follow me for more masterclass book summary. Share with others. Do not forget to subscribe. I will leave the link at the description and also pin it at the comment section if you want a full book to purchase. Enjoy your day.